On your toes.
Alright, so this has come up enough times in the Grand Discord advice channel that I thought I'd make a quick little video on it. So this is going to be like a really quick primer on some neutral. That's not going to go super in depth, but just talking about your three basic options and what they mean in neutral. So first off, there's the obvious option, and what a lot of Rising players know. There's 6XL in neutral. 6XL is very, very strong against very patient play and people trying to play reactive, because a lot of the times at this kind of distance you can just 6XL in for free if they're trying to like react to things. It's just gonna blow past attempts to be reactive, it's gonna get in for free, you're gonna be plus on block. If they get hit trying to walk back and forth too, then that's a combo as well. And if they're a bit late on their checks as well, you get a counter hit, which gives you an even better combo. So a lot of this game's neutral is defined by 6XL, and the rest of this kind of revolves around that as well. So what beats 6XL then? Playing predictively. Because 6XL is a light button, it loses to a lot of things, and there's a lot of buttons that are very strong at dash checking. There's like Grand 2M, Grand Far M, Grand Far Heavy, and like basically every character has a button that can dash check pretty well that isn't just a light button. Playing very reactively with these kinds of buttons is a lot harder to try to beat 6XL with, but when you're predicting them to 6XL and you're dash checking a bit early, that's when you can really start beating predictable 6XLs. But also with 6XL, you can back out and try to whiff punish it afterwards. That's going to be a lot harder to do since people generally know their 6XL spacings and they can just dash a little bit longer, but it is something to keep in mind when you are playing in a reactive sort of way. But generally, the best way to beat 6XL in neutral is to not play reactively, but to play predictively. But what beats predictive play if I can't 6XL in? Reactive play. And this creates kind of a triangle in neutral that you should really be keeping in mind just when getting into the basics of neutral. 6XL beats very reactive play, predictive play beats 6XL, and reactive play beats predictive play. And this is really what the neutral of Rising is defined around a large majority of the time. However, one of these options is significantly more overtuned, and that's why this game gets a reputation of being 6XL the game, because even if you are playing predictive, it can be pretty hard to beat 6XL. But it's not an invincible tool, and it is just something to keep in mind, and this is the best way to deal with it. And obviously there's going to be some characters where this applies a lot less to, like, just namely like Matera, Fairy, those kinds of characters. But the majority of the cast, this kind of triangle is actually pretty apparent that you can keep in mind and really try to adapt into your play as part of your adaptations towards a player specifically, because this isn't really a matchup thing, this is mostly a player thing. Just something to keep in mind, but again, this is just a primer on what to really think about in neutral and what to look for, so hopefully this helps out at least someone.